Tough love time. If you're going to continuously treat yourself as a person you absolutely hate, you're going to attract people into your life who treat you like that, who is going to confirm those feelings for you. So, we are going to change that right now. Let's go. My friend and I, we have been talking about relationships and dating, and she is in this phase of her life where she's looking for a long-term partnership. But the kind of men she attracts are very inconsistent or treats her very poorly. So we were thinking, why is that happening? And one thing we noticed was she was kind of attracting the similar kind of people into her life. So why does this happen? And I realized how it's not just the conversation I had with her. It's about a culmination of things that I've been seeing in dating with my other friends or even online. And being a psychology student, I wanted to know the roots of why do we keep dating people who are very similar but just in different forms. So I had two main theories about it. Let's talk about that. My first thing is something we have been seeing quite online now, and I think which is well established, that is our early attachment with parents. If we see that our parents are very inconsistent towards us when we were children, or they were even inconsistent towards each other, I think that can really affect our perception of our relationship. If you see that your parent is one day very nice to you, they praise you constantly, they support you, but the next day you see that even though you do the exact same thing, they might not even look at you the second time around. So there's always that tendency of anticipating inconsistency from the person you love, and I think that can be really hard. And I think it can also come from in that emotional availability space. So for example, you know that your parents love you very deeply, and I think being from a South Asian family, that's something I can say, yeah, sometimes that happens where they are not very verbal towards you, or they are not very affectionate towards you, but you know that they would do anything for you. But at the same time, so it can be a bit hard for us to accept when somebody is so physically affectionate towards you or shows you verbally how much they love you, and it can be difficult for you to show that same kind of love towards them. So at the end of the day, you just end up repulsing people who do show you that kind of love. I think I saw this one video by Dark Shepherd, which was really good. In that video, he was talking about his parenting style, and he was saying this one thing about how most children see that their parents fight. They are very they know how to, they see conflict in front of their eyes. But what most parents do is, once everything has cooled down, they talk about it behind closed doors. So what the children sees next is that the next day everything is okay. The parents are acting like nothing ever happened. So the children knows about conflict escalation, but they do not know about conflict resolution. So what he said was, what he does with his children is, he'll talk to them that this is how we resolved the conversation or resolve the fight if the children saw the fight in the first place. So I think that can be a good way to talk about it. But at the end of the day, I think that's what happens to a lot of people. We know how to escalate that conflict, but we just hope that if we just leave it alone for a while, it might just resolve on its own. And that can be something children kind of think that that's how just relationship works, and we carry that into our adult attachment or adult relationship. So let me know what you think about it. I think that can be a very great starting point for you to, even if you want to journal about it, just see whether you saw healthy conflict patterns within your family, or did you feel like unsafe, or was it a very unstable place where you came from in terms of relationships, and how has that impacted you. I think the second one I don't think people talk about enough is, and I think this is from my personal opinion, that I think your first relationship also really affects you. The first romantic relationship you have really affects you, especially if that partner is somebody who's much older than you, or who has a power dynamic around you, who kind of can give control you a bit, or they have like the worst case scenario where they have abused you or anything like that, I feel like if they have a power dynamic with you, that relationship can have a very drastic impact on how you see your subsequent relationships. Because if that person showed you this is the only way you can find love through a very conditional pattern, it can be very hard for you to see that in your next relationship. So you might consider that as passionate when it's in fact just toxic, and when the next person comes around where they're actually healthy and where they do not obsess over you or they do not constantly violate your boundaries, you might misinterpret it as, but they are not as passionate as I think they are. So I think your first relationship, especially based on a power dynamic pattern or where you have been really affected, can also subsequently affect your other romantic relationships that might come into your life. But let's talk about the most important part. How are we actually going to break this pattern of you misinterpreting love bombing as passionate and just not attracting healthy compassionate relationship into your life? I think the first major thing is be clear about what you want in your dating life. Be clear whether you want a long-term partner or whether you want something casual and fun right now, which means that you're just going to sit down there and write down what you want in your life right now and what are the qualities you want in your partner. And after this, the most important part is being able to let go of people who do not want the same thing as you. I think in many relationships people say that, I think that's a very casual dating advice that we get. Oh, see, date people and see, then let's see where it goes. But I think that's a recipe for disaster, especially if one person is like, oh, I am looking for a partner, and the other person is like, I'm just looking for something very casual and fun, but someday I might change my mind, I don't know. Like, if they are not very sure about what they want in life and you come together, it's going to hurt one of you. And spoiler alert, it's you. So do not do it. Do not do that where one person do not know what they want and you're like, okay, but what if they ultimately change their mind? They're not going to change their mind. You have to let go of things that do not serve you. You have to signal to yourself that, okay, I am going to do whatever it takes to manifest a healthy person into your life, including letting go of person that I really like but I know do not want the same thing as me. You have to make that sacrifice here for yourself. If you're holding on to this one person because you have needs, what is going to happen is you are not allowing your actual soulmate to come in. You're actually not allowing your person who you would really love to come in, because you're keeping this person as a well, is in your retainer. You're thinking that, okay, until my actual person comes, I would just hang out with this person. But you're giving your energy and time and effort to this person, which means that somewhere along the way, there is no space for a person, a very healthy and compassionate person to even come in. So keep your impulses in check, write down what you need and be super clear about what you want in life, and make sure you keep that promise that I'm not going to let any other person come in who is going to deter me from this path. The second thing is, if you want certain qualities in your man, take a look in the mirror and see whether you embody those qualities within yourself. And I think that can be a bit of hard shadow work you have to do, but I think it will have such great results. I'll give an example. Let's just say you want a very ambitious man, okay? And the thing about ambitious people is that they fail, they try so much, and you know for a fact that they're going to succeed, but it also means that there are times where they will fail. So in those times, let's just see whether you are an ambitious person, or would you be a good support system to an ambitious person. Look in your life and see whether the next time you fail, how do you treat yourself? Do you just give up, or do you just scream at yourself and be angry at yourself for the fact that you failed? Or do you gracefully pick yourself up and say that, you know what, let's try this again? Because if you want a partner who's ambitious, it means that they're going to fail. And I know we might say to ourselves, yeah, but I'm not going to ever treat my partner that way, even though I treat myself that way. But that's just not the truth. You might not treat them for the first or second time like that, but the third time, that is the most, like, the response that we're so used to. Once your mind creates the neural pathways on how to respond to a certain thing. So if you have trained your mind to think that, okay, I am an ambitious person, but every time I feel, I'm just going to scream at myself, or I'm just going to be so angry at myself, or I'm just going to give up and never ever try again, that's how you're going to respond to your partner also. So if you want some sort of qualities from your person, see whether you embody those qualities or whether you are a good support system for those qualities. So for example, if you want a very resilient person, let's do a challenge where you are resilient. For example, if you do not want to do a workout, but you do want a partner who is resilient in the things they do, you do that exercise where, even though you don't want to do it, because you know that can have long-term gains. So let's do things like that, where you become a good support system for the qualities you want in your partner in the first place. If this video has been helping you so far, please subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think in the comments. The third thing I would say is, are you accountable to yourself? Are you keeping that accountability to yourself and the promise you have made to others who really love you around, to your friends, to your family? Are you keeping that promise that, okay, I will only be with the person who treats me well? So you need to be accountable to keep that promise of, okay, I am going to choose long-term gains over short-term benefits. People often say that, only once you will love yourself, you can love somebody. And I don't really agree to that, because I think self-love is a choice you have to make every single day. And there is no end point to it. So I don't necessarily agree with the fact that, you can only be in a relationship where once you have completely loved yourself. I do not completely agree to that, but I do agree to the fact that you can only attract healthy people once you are accountable towards you. So the next time when your ex texts you saying that, but you know what, I am a changed man right now, please take me back. My question is, why are you even receiving a text from in the first place? He should be blocked by now. You are not going to get a text from him. Block him right now and make sure that you're not even getting that text in the first place. My fourth point is, be aware of the kind of time and energy you're giving to other people. I am not against you giving a chance to a guy for the first date, but the second, the third, and the eighth chance, no way. Because you are giving your time and attention to a person who do not deserve it, by telling yourself that it's okay and literally gaslighting yourself into thinking that that person is not that bad. What is the point of it? What are you getting out of it? Why are you doing this charity service to people who do not even deserve it? I am not saying do not fight for your love, but is this even love when they are just treating you like an option and manipulating you, using your time and energy, and just saying words just because you want to hear them so that they can continue using you as an option when they are looking for other things? So be aware of the kind of time and attention you are giving for people. Do not give chances to people who do not deserve it. Because you deserve that chance. You deserve a good and compassionate love. Do not give that chance to people who you know for a fact that who is not going to ever give you that deep down. I am not against casual sex, or I'm not against you casually having fun. But my question is, are you genuinely exploring and having fun? Or are you just looking for some temporary attention that's going to fade away after a while, when they are literally using you and manipulating you as an option? Because if you want something deep down, a very legitimate, healthy partnership kind of love, but you're giving space and energy to these kind of people, then there is no way somebody healthy can come along, right? So make sure you give time and space and energy to people who are worth it, who are worthy enough for you to fight for their love, rather than people who do not give you the basic time of their day, who only text you at night. No. We are not going to do that. But all I want you to ask is, are you genuinely in that phase of your life where you just want to explore and have fun? Or are you looking for that temporary attention that fades away when deep down you know that you want a long-term partnership? That's my only question. I am asking that from a space of curiosity rather than judgment. I just want you to sit there and think about what you want. If you do want casual sex and having fun and exploring and seeing what is out there in life, I am happy for you and I think you should do it. But the question is that genuinely what you want? That's the only thing I'm going to ask. Because the time and energy you're giving to somebody really matters. When they are using you and manipulating you and just keeping you as an option, you deserve way better than that. That's the only reason why I'm asking you that question. My last point and my final point is, stop dating men for their potential. Stop dating for people for who they could be eventually in the future. Do not do that. You are not the woman who's going to change this man one day randomly. He's going to wake up and see that, oh okay, I should be a much better person for this person. They might eventually think that, but after treating you so badly and so poorly for so long, when you have been hurt again and again and again, they might one day, out of a 20% chance, they might think that, oh, I should become a better person. But right now, you are not the woman who's going to change him and make him into something better. You do not have to coach him and build him to be a man only for him to go around you and give that to somebody else. You do not need to be a coaching center for men who do not deserve that in the first place. You see a man who could eventually be very consistent and communicative, who would be a really good, father, who could be a very good boyfriend. You see that eventually someday he could be, because you see that potential in him. But right now he's not doing any of that, and he's barely texting you, and he don't even remember you in the mornings. He's only texting you at night after everything he has to do, he has done. So what is the point of that? You do not have to be with a person who might potentially eventually be like that, because there are people out there who are exactly what you want them to be right now in the present moment. You do not have to invest years and years in somebody who might get there at some point. We do not have to do that. So let me just hold your hand and tell you very passionately and with being your friend, he's not the person for you. Just move on. He's not the kind of man who deserves you to be in his life. Believe them when they say you who they are. And because you know why? Because right now there are people who can give you everything you want. And you do not have to coach a person for them to be better for you. And it's not even like something very radical. You just want them to be kind to you and text you on a daily basis. That's not too much to ask for. So do not give time for men who can't even do the bare minimum for you. Listen to me when I say that. You have to let go of the idea there are not good people around for you to date, because trust me, there are plenty of people out there who would give you everything you have ever needed. I know for a fact that even if you are entertaining people like this, you are the kind of person who will fight for what's worth it. So just wait for a bit for the kind of love that's even worth fighting for in the first place, because I promise you it exists out there. I think you deserve the world, so please wait for the man who thinks you deserve the world and the moon. So just wait a bit and trust me, it's going to happen. I know for that sure. If you think you have gotten some value out of this, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you loved it. Please press the like button, tell me how the video was in the comment section, and I love you guys so much. Bye bye.